No, I don't. Oh yeah, that's right. Hey everyone, I'm Leigh. Welcome to my mixed media art channel where I do time-lapse painting videos, I do tutorials, I talk about art supplies. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how I developed my current mixed media art style. So if that sounds interesting to you, I hope you'll stick around and let's get into the video. So side note, I have actually filmed this video once already. I filmed it yesterday and I went to play the video back to start editing, and I don't know if this has happened to any of you before, but I'm watching it and all I can see is double chin. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna refilm it. That's just what I'm gonna do. So this is attempt number 2, and hopefully my chin doesn't make an appearance in this one. Maybe it was the angle. I'm gonna blame it on the angle because that makes me feel better about myself. I'm going to be talking about how I developed my own personal mixed media art style in this video, and I hope it will help any of you out there who are struggling to figure out what your own style is. And the reason why I say that is because for me, developing my art style was one of the most frustrating processes I've gone through as an artist. Yes, really. Back in 2016, I started really taking my art seriously. I was in several online classes and I started following artists on YouTube and Instagram and watching videos, and so I was really getting into the art world and seeing different artistic styles and how professional artists did their artwork. And one thing that really bothered me was seeing that each artist had a pretty distinctive style. Once you saw their art, you immediately know who the artist was. Like you look at Andy Warhol, you know it's an Andy Warhol, or a Jackson Pollock, or a Salvador Dali. As soon as you see the art, you know the artist. It's their style, it's their way of working, it's the materials they use, plus the way they use them. So when I was first learning in 2016, I did not have a style, and I desperately wanted one. And I found myself thinking, all great artists have a particular style, but what's mine? And I really think that taking online art classes, and just any art classes in general, I happen to take online ones, was really helpful for me. It pushed me to improve my skills and to try new things. But I do remember getting discouraged because I was just copying the teacher's style for those pieces, and nothing really felt like my own. And then when I would go to do my own artwork, I would feel so lost because there was like so many styles that I had been looking at, and I just didn't know what I was supposed to do, how I was supposed to find my own way in all of this. Even when I did my art project 50 Skulls in 50 Days, which I did 50 small skull paintings over the course of 50 days in 2016, I wasn't doing the paintings in my own particular style. In fact, part of the project was I was having a lot of fun trying out many different styles for those paintings. What exactly is an artist style anyway? An artist style is defined as follows. In the visual arts, style is a distinctive manner which permits the grouping of works into related categories. It refers to the visual appearance of a work of art that relates it to other works by the same artist, or one from the same period, training, location, school, art movement, or archaeological culture. The notion of style has long been the art historian's principal mode of classifying works of art. By style, he selects and shapes the history of art. No pressure, really. Just shaping the entire history of art. Sometimes style is really hard to define or describe and ends up being one of those you know it when you see it situations. I knew that if I was really serious about becoming a professional artist, I needed to decide what my own style was. What would make people look at my painting and say, yep, that's definitely a Jaime. It took me a while to figure this out. That's why in the beginning of this video I said it was really frustrating. I started trying to figure it all out in 2016 after I finished my 50 Skulls paintings. And I didn't actually figure out my style for 2 more years. I even took courses where a major portion of the course was how to develop your artist style. The problem was I was learning information on how to create my own style combined with painting every day or nearly every day. I still didn't feel like I was working in a way that felt like mine. And I was getting more and more discouraged that I was never going to figure it out. I know it sounds cliche, to say that you had a light bulb moment or a eureka moment, but honestly, when I figured out my own art style, it really was an aha moment. So fast forward from 2016, 2 years, it was January of 2018, and I had several days off before I was supposed to go back to work after New Year's Day, and I figured it would be a great time to do art. I had time where I wasn't having to be at work, and I really felt like creating. I had started several different pieces already, but honestly, on that day in 2018, I was feeling less than motivated, even though I really wanted to create. And it kind of bummed me out, honestly. I admit I wallowed for a teensy bit, but then I really let myself think about why I was struggling so much. Was it creative block? Was it overwhelm? What was it? And that's when it hit me. It's that damn style question again. I really didn't want to spend any more time creating artwork that didn't feel like my own artwork. It felt like a waste of time. I was just copying or doing it because other people did it, and I didn't want to keep doing that. I asked myself a really simple question with a maybe a little more complicated answer. What does feel like me? I never really thought about that before, but in asking myself that question, I thought, okay, well, maybe that's what I need to figure out. And so I gave myself a little assignment. I said several questions to myself. What are my favorite things about painting? What do I love to do? What do I look forward to most? What subjects do I like painting? What do I find the most fun about art, painting, doing art, creating, any of that? It's almost a duh moment. It's so simple, but it really was a breakthrough moment for me. I decided that I loved creating mixed media backgrounds using collage, ink, and 3D items. I love doing portraits on those backgrounds, mostly of interesting looking girls or women, and I love sharks. I know that's random, but I did. I had done 3 shark paintings already, so I wanted to do that more often. I ended up creating a mixed media background that day in 2018, and then I began creating more paintings, following the style assignment I had given myself. Mixed media backgrounds, portraits, sharks. I did about 10 paintings this way, and then I just happened to meet the artist who had become my art mentor, and he offered me an art show in his gallery. This was June of 2018 that I had my art show. I displayed all of those shark paintings. He invited me to his studio for a lesson, and now 2 years later, I am still going there about 3 times a week. After I found my style, I realized that I had to refine it. And learning from an actual professional artist has allowed me to work more on my own style and improve it. I don't do as many sharks anymore, and I've become much better at portrait painting. I've also started studying other artists, styles, techniques, art from history. I've even copied 3 paintings from history because that's a great way to build up your skills as an artist. All of this has helped me stick to my favorite things about painting, but also improve and add to what I know about art. Also, in a great ironic twist, my art mentor doesn't have a particular style. I know. He literally creates in all styles and in all mediums, from sculpture to woodworking to metal to paintings, and he works in gouache, acrylic, oil. Sometimes he mixes them all together. Like, he doesn't have a particular style, and that works for him really well, actually. Seeing that he didn't like try to fit himself into just one style and he experiments, it's allowed me to be a little more experimental with my own art. And I also am able to still stick to my style rules. What are my favorite parts of painting? What makes it fun? Because honestly, if you're not having fun, then why the hell are you doing it? Like, that's one of my basic daily mantras for what I'm doing here is, if I'm not gonna have fun with it, then what am I doing? I also learned about style that style constantly changes. Okay, so I do have to admit that when I was struggling to figure out what my style was, I did have this backwards kind of idea that I would find my style and then unicorns and rainbows would appear and blah, blah, blah. In short, I wasn't being very realistic when I was thinking about style. It's great to pick a niche, so to speak. If you've heard that term, it's basically to take your big idea or area and just focus down really specifically on one thing that you're very good at. This is basically what you do when you're picking a career or a life path anyway. You go from saying you want to be a doctor to saying you want to be an orthopedic surgeon, a specific doctor. You go from saying you want to learn a trade to being a licensed electrician, a specific trade person. You go from saying you want to be a writer to being a mystery author, a specific kind of writing. But again, you don't just stop once you define what you want. You get certifications, or you take more classes, or you advance up the ladder. It's the same for art. You start in one place and then you learn and improve, and hopefully that lasts the rest of your life. It's my opinion that the best artists are the ones who keep learning and doing new things. That's my story of how I discovered my own art style, and I hope that it kind of helped you see that it's not a one-time thing, it's a process. And I really feel like it's based mostly on what is it that you love to do? What is it that you could get lost in? What is it that is your favorite parts about what it is you're creating? Those are the things that I focused on, and when I find myself getting stuck or getting lost, those are the things that I try to bring myself back to. Oh, I'm feeling a certain way about this art piece, or I'm not feeling very motivated. Then I go back to, okay, what's my favorite thing to do? What do I love? What's fun? And I try to get back to that. I hope you enjoyed today's video and that it helped you in some way, and please leave a comment down below if it did. Please like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in my next video. Have a great day. Bye!